I'm starting with that.
The kick is away, and the kick is it's gone! And the Eagles win!
It's hard to come to South Philadelphia and leave here with a win. You just don't come to Philadelphia and leave here with a win.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin.
I first have to say, the Commanders almost made that statement within the intro very incorrect. They were very close to making that statement incorrect because it didn't look that hard for them to come into South Philly and get a win this past week. But we got to talk about this game, right? And I need to relight my candle. I need some sage. You know what I'm saying? I need to throw some salt over my shoulder. All those things. So I'm going to start with our guest, Key. Key, what are your thoughts on that debacle of a thing we call a game on Sunday?
I thought at one point in the game, I had to make sure and look who was on the sideline. But then I remembered that one person name we're not going to say, he wasn't there. He was in Axel, Arizona. So it wasn't him on the sideline, but maybe it was his double because he sure enough was playing like that man we won't say. The donkey, the Gan donkey. He was showing up like him. Why are we playing so far off the ball? Why are we playing these soft coverages? It reminded me of you know who all over again. I was like, oh my God, we can't catch a cold. We can't tackle to save our life. What are we doing out here? What are we in the I'm not going to talk about the penalty. It was some of them was unnecessary. Some of them was just being dumb. Some of it was just the refs hating the Eagles, not trying to let us win a game. Again,
Facts.
4-0. Am I happy with 4-0? Of course. Is it how we get in there? Look, a win's a win. We pull it out. But I know everybody's like, well, how long is it going to take to click in? Forget how, as long as it takes for us to keep winning and it finally clicks in, y'all just better be scared. Y'all better watch out. Because once we get comfortable and it's clicking, we're going to be unstoppable like last year. But I think this game, Jalen played his best. He played his best. He had some passion and emotion after that pass. He threw to AJ. That's the hypest I've ever seen, like on the field. So I mean, they did their thing. There are some things I didn't like really. They didn't use running game really like that. With Swift, he didn't get the many carries. But Brian Johnson called an okay game plan. It's on the side. I was questioning a lot with that defense. There's no way we should have been on the field that long. When third down comes, we should be off the field. No penalty or big catch or Howell does something. It's Sam Howell. Come on. We can pressure him and get to the quarterback. But hopefully the side has a game plan this week. Because if he plays that soft coverage like he did last week, this week, that's a wrap. That's all. We're not leaving SoFi with a win.
Feel it. So, you know how you sometimes hate being interactive? This is one of those moments. So, Coach says, Key, my boy, JG, a.k.a. Jonathan, and I'm going to use the PG version of his nickname, Gan Yass. And he is Yass. Yeah, so that was that. Diva, I know you got something to say.
I'm trying to figure out what film were Brian Johnson and decide watching. Now, you watching film all week. You can watch film from last year when we had a debacle with the Commanders. So why not prepare for that game? That game ended just like it was basically flashback to last year almost. Like I didn't understand. I don't understand time after time why we keep going away from the run. I don't understand it. When you got somebody like Swift, who is amazing, like amazing, and you continue to go away from the run, or you use Gainwell on plays that he should. I don't understand. I really don't.
Please
And
don't
it
game
took us a
well.
while to get in a rhythm. I'm glad Jalen finally got back to Jalen, because if Jalen didn't get back to Jalen, we would have lost that game all the way around. Would have lost it. Defense, I don't want to see that again. I don't want to see that again. Decide at all, because you look like JG, and we can't have that at all. Like he did not adjust nothing. Like it should have been no way. Now, don't get me wrong, Sam Howell's a good quarterback, but it's no way that we should have not pressured him. He should have been pressured the whole game. If not pressured, why are you not? I don't see no spies out there spying. I don't see no nothing. So I didn't understand how they kept. I mean, he was just throwing it down the field, and I don't know what they was doing. Half of them weren't even paying attention to what was going on. Like, they weren't even looking for the ball. So thank you, Jake Elliott. Thank you. It shouldn't. None of our games should not end with us depending on Jake Elliott. I'm glad he is the kicker that he is. He reminds me of David Akers, but we should not be ending our games like that. And like Kelsey said, like we should be blowing people out. Yes, we should. And we're not. Why? We're finding ways to win, but that's not going to keep working. Just finding any kind of way to win. That's not going to keep working. You got to go in there with a game plan, and you got to execute point blank period. We're not executing to the way that we know that we can execute. So I hope that y'all started watching film Sunday, because you need to watch some film. Everybody, the whole team, especially them coordinators, because that was horrible on both sides.
And when y'all watch that film, put your phone down.
Cut everything off and lock yourself in a room.
Fact, lock yourself in the room together with the lights on and focus on that game. Snacks, cool. Drinks, cool. No players. And y'all need to help critique each other.
You better get a old school notepad.
As bad as y'all are, y'all need each other's help too. Oh,
and you keep rewinding. Keep rewinding until you get it.
Nikki tight pants. How about you get your ass in there with them too?
Yeah.
Because you wait till I go. I got some stuff for you too. Go ahead, Wyatt.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no reason for Sam Howell to be going out there slicing and dicing us like he was. I mean, we talked about, like what Devo always calls, like the donut hole in the middle. But man, it was the whole field this time. You know, it was everybody. It seemed like the defensive line wasn't getting as many pressures as we're used to. And I mean, the secondary wasn't helping them out either. Like, I feel like if you would have played down and played man more, put some more pressure on them, it would have given some of those guys some time to get in there and try to get a sack. Because, I mean, the game plan against us now is, get the ball out quick. That's all you have to do. It seems like through 4 weeks, we haven't done anything to prevent that. They're so scared of having these big plays happen. But I mean, that's football. You got to take your chances. And you mean, if you play man and a big play happens, I mean, that is what it is. But you got to keep going and try to put pressure back on them. Because I mean, every single team, I mean, it was lucky it was just Washington. But like what Key was saying, what's going to happen against these Rams if we're playing that same thing? It's not going to work. We're going to get sliced and diced even more, and we're going to lose big time. I didn't really have as much of an issue with the offense as much. I think Brian Johnson did. It seems like he's somewhat improving each week, and I mean, Jalen looks like he's somewhat back to being Jalen again. I just hate those designed runs that they keep using with him. I mean, it's not as much as it was those first 2 weeks, but I mean, it's just weird situations that they decide to use them in. And that's the real thing with Brian Johnson right now, is his situational decisions aren't great. And I don't know if that's just him or if it's Nick. I mean, I know he said that they were planning on getting the first down and then kicking the field goal to win the game. But I guess Hurts saw the play to AJ there to get the touchdown. I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, you also got to be like, man, we just end this now. You got Jake here. He's going to be able to kick that field goal, get the first down and win it here. That way we don't have to go in overtime if we don't have to. And it's like everybody already said, DeAndre Swift needs to be used more. And if you're not using him, start using Boston Scott. He was active this game. He didn't even get a carry. I mean, obviously Gainwell is not that dude as of right now. I mean, he had flashes last year and he had flashes in the playoffs. But I mean, last year we were using like a 3-back rotation. It wasn't just Miles and Gainwell or Miles and Boston. It was all 3 of them rotating. And I feel like that's what you're going to have to do. I mean, they keep talking about rolling with the hot hand. Well, you're only going with 2 backs out of the 3 or 4 that you have on the roster. Start putting Boston Scott in there. I feel like Boston runs tougher than Gainwell does. So, I mean, if you're able to put him in there when Swift actually does need a break, I would rather go with him than Gainwell as of right now. Use Gainwell on like passing situations, not 3rd and 11 when you need that first down. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. I think this game really came down on the coordinators just not being prepared. I feel like some of the execution was there as far as the players, maybe not on the defense, but that could be because of the actual decisions from Desai. But this needs corrected like ASAP, because like whatever he was saying, like we got some tough games coming up, not just against the Rams, but the Dolphins, the Bills. And it's like, you're not going to make it through that stretch. How do you expect to make the playoffs? And how do you expect to even win in the playoffs playing this kind of football? You can't.